Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And last night we got the first teaser trailer for the next MCU movie. This is Black Widow's standalone kind of origin type film. I'm very excited to see it. I have not seen it. I've been waiting to see it and have my first reaction with you. So if you don't like spoilers, you should skip ahead about 2 minutes and 30 seconds so that you don't get to see any of that stuff. But in the meantime, we're going to be watching the trailer, reacting to the trailer, and then we're going to be talking about what it could mean for Marvel Future Fight. Because if you guys don't know, or if you don't remember, Marvel Future Fight is very, very good at covering every single MCU film that comes out in recent years, especially in the last 2 years, and we always get an update themed around that, and usually the titular character gets a huge upgrade, so I cannot wait to see what we get as far as Black Widow and supporting characters. So let's jump into the trailer now. Okay, so first things first, that was an insane trailer. I mean, I know it was just a teaser trailer, but that was really good. It did give me, my personal reaction on it is that it gave me a little bit too much feeling for what the story is going to be like, but I love the fact that they just introduce characters with small little snippets, and they don't spoil too much, and they just give you a nice little taste of the character, just a little bit of the character's personality and a little bit of what the character looks like. We saw Black Widow in a black outfit and in the white, that classic white outfit, which is amazing, and hopefully that's the uniform that she gets for the movie. She might get like 2 uniforms. She might get a Synergy uniform in Marvel Future Fight. But let's talk about now the characters in the movie and what we could be seeing for them in Marvel Future Fight, because I'm really excited about that. I'm also assuming, I haven't read anything, but I'm also assuming we're going to be seeing Nick Fury at some point. I think I saw him in the trailer, although I don't know exactly where we saw Nick Fury, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and spies and all that kind of stuff. Nick Fury is usually somewhere around there. It'll be interesting to see if Iron Man as well is shown, because I saw Thunderbolt Ross, who is Red Hulk, near the beginning of the trailer as well. But of the main characters, this is Yelena Belova, and she is another sort of super spy trained in the Red Room a la Black Widow, and she becomes the second version or the second generation of Black Widow after Romanova. And I guess in the movie she calls her sister, so I don't know if they're actually sisters or if they just call each other sisters because they were in the Red Room together, and it's sort of like a bonding experience. You go through trauma together, you call yourself brothers and sisters, sort of like Captain America and Winter Soldier kind of thing. Not exactly the same thing because they didn't grow up together. I mean, they did, but they didn't. But you get what I'm saying. They didn't really suffer through that traumatic experience together. They got their powers in different ways. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we get her as a playable character. I assume because she has almost all of the same, if not exactly the same abilities as Black Widow, that she would just be another speed female hero type with guaranteed dodge and those kinds of things. But it'll be interesting to see if they give her like lightning damage and they give her this sort of shock effects that Black Widow has, or if they go a different route, they give her like all defense down, or they do something else entirely with her outfit and her skills. I would like to see them become more creative with the different characters. Fast forwarding along to a later shot, we get, of course, the white outfit, which looks so cool, so good. I'm really excited for that one. I gotta say, I think it's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna look really good in the game. We also get a look really briefly at Taskmaster. Now, Taskmaster has been in Marvel Future Fight in the game files for years now. He's the guy who introduces you to Battle World. This is a completely redesigned look for the character, though. I think this is like movie specific. I don't think this is from the comics. I think this is just sort of inspired by the comics, but definitely modernized for the MCU, kind of in the way that a lot of other heroes have had their suits and their armor and stuff tweaked. Thor lost the helmet, so on and so forth. So it'll be interesting to see if we get this Taskmaster, or if we get the OG Taskmaster, like we did with Nick Fury, where we got the regular comic Nick Fury, and then the movie version as an equipable uniform. Same thing would be for someone like Minerva, where we got the classic Dr. Minerva as the base character, and then we got the uniform as the one that goes on for the movie to sort of represent the movie. So that should be very interesting. I wonder if he's going to be a combat villain or a speed villain. We really desperately need a speed villain because we have so few of them in Marvel Future Fight. But whatever he is, I just hope that he's really good and he's really fun. The really interesting thing about Taskmaster is his memory and his ability to not only mimic and sort of learn who he's fighting, their techniques, but he can then also duplicate them immediately after learning them, after seeing them once, and then he can also predict his enemy's moves. So it's sort of like a copycat mechanic that then makes the moves sort of useless against him. So it'd be really cool if he had a sort of rotating buff cleanse effect, or debuff cleanse effect, I guess. So like if you hit him with, you know, let's say in World Boss, he gets hit by the tornadoes and he gets snared. He'll only get snared once, and then for the rest of the fight, he will have a immunity to snare mechanic. If he gets, if he gets stunned by those spears that go in a straight line, he'll only get stunned once, then he'll have immunity to stun. Same thing with the time freeze. It would be very cool for PvP. You know, if he could only get guard broken once, I mean, that's a pipe dream against Jean Grey. But if he could only get stunned once, if he could only get snared once, then that could make him really good without a debuff leadership like Wasp or Silver Surfer. So it'll be interesting to see how they sort of interpret his abilities. I think the Marvel Future Fight devs definitely have a challenge coming up with Taskmaster, and maybe that's why they never wanted to introduce him into the game earlier, because he seems like a really tricky character to get right, because if you ignore that, that's pretty much the cornerstone of the character. So you can't really ignore that aspect of the character. You have to address it. You have to make it playable in a way that makes you feel like you're Taskmaster. Marvel Contest of Champions does a great job of doing it, by the way. So if you guys want to check out what that is for that game, you can look up some videos on that. But hopefully the Marvel Future Fight devs get it right. And then later on, we see Alexei, aka Red Guardian. Now, I don't know a lot about this character, to be honest with you guys, but from what I do know, he is basically the Russian counterpart, or sort of the Russian version of Captain America. I don't think he has the super serum that made Captain America what he is. I think he's just a sort of peak level, or peak physical and athletic level human who has like extensive fighting training and years of experience, and he also has, you know, he has a patented shield. It doesn't have the red, white, and blue on it, as you can see, but he's got the patented shield. But he obviously wouldn't be as strong as Captain America because he's missing that sort of superhuman bump that Cap got from the injection. He's not necessarily going to dive out of a plane without a parachute, but Black Widow does, which is so dope, so that should be interesting. I didn't really see any other characters of note. We do see Rachel Weisz here briefly. We don't know what her role is in the movie. I don't really want to go and look things up, so you know, I just want to keep it a secret for myself. But you know, you can speculate on who she is, if she's sort of like a mentor, if she's a longtime friend, if she's maybe someone who's double crossing them. Maybe it's a spy movie, so there's really, you know, 1,000 different ways these characters could express their roles. I think here we see Red Guardian fighting. Yeah, it seems like he's fighting Taskmaster, so that would be really cool. As far as Red Guardian being a character, I would imagine he would just be a combat hero. He's Russia's version of Captain America, so why not? Hopefully they make him a little bit more unique than some of the recent combat. I mean, the recent combat characters have been good, don't get me wrong. I mean, Gorilla Man has some unique properties in the heel, and Swordmaster has some really beautiful animations. But I feel like the identity of combat types is still kind of, yeah, it's still kind of a question mark. Do they all heal? Is that the identity of combat types, the healing? Is it the all defense down? Like, I don't really know what is the identity really of combat type characters. So it would be nice for them to really try and answer that question and figure it out, you know, when they express it and when they make the character for Red Guardian, and possibly Taskmaster if he's a combat type as well. So I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty excited for a new MCU movie. I think it's been long enough. I was starting to get a little bit of MCU fatigue after Spider-Man: Far From Home, but you know, I've had time to reset. I've had time to watch other movies and other TV shows. There's nothing on Disney Plus for Marvel yet, any new things. So I think I'm ready, and I'm wondering if you guys are ready for it as well. Last but not least, of course, though, we have to talk about Black Widow. It's a serious thing here, guys, because you know, Black Widow sucks. Let's not mince words. And she's kind of sucked forever. She never really was in the spotlight. She's one of the original 3 characters that you get when you start your game with Captain America and Iron Man. So she is, you know, she's an OG of an OG of an OG of an OG. She's the ultimate OG. Captain America has been strong multiple times. and he's still, you know, in the near the top of the meta. Iron Man was very weak for a long time, but then with Endgame and his final, you know, uniform rework, when we petitioned for it, they finally made Iron Man a badass, and he is very, very strong now. He's in the meta. He's not at the top, but he's definitely in the meta. But Black Widow has never been in the meta. Black Widow has never even been close to the top of the meta for anything, for PvE, for PvP, for anything. She's just been a decent character. So I really think they need to do her Captain Marvel type justice. She's not as bad as Captain Marvel was before she got her rework. So they don't need to go, you know, they don't need to push as hard as they did for Captain Marvel, but they need to make sure that at the end of her buff, at the end of her rework, when we get to play with her, that she's going to be almost as strong as Captain Marvel. I don't think she needs to be as impactful as Captain Marvel in terms of having iframe ignore, but she needs to hit as hard as Captain Marvel, or she needs to be as disruptive as Captain Marvel to the meta, because, you know, it's like this is the last train for Black Widow. When is she going to get another look here? This is her movie. The movie is literally called Black Widow. Okay, you guys made a new uniform and a new legendary battle and a new type of pack for Black Panther's standalone movie. You know, you made all this stuff for Captain Marvel's standalone movie, and then you gave her another look in Endgame. Do the same for Black Widow. You know, justice for Black Widow. Hopefully in 5 or 6 months we will all be salivating over tier 3 Black Widow with an insane bump and an insane tier 3 skill. So let me know what you guys think of the trailer, how hype you are for the next MCU movie in May 2020. Will this coincide with the 5-year anniversary that happens at the end of April? Or will it be separate? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.